It's on this day that I'm wearing my Che Guevara inspired avatar t-shirt. See that right there? Che Guevara avatar. All right. And it was on this day that I walked into Esselwan bookstore and I purchased this book right here. You see that? Turn it around so you can probably see it. All right. Let me tell you a little story about the history with this book and myself. Maybe 30 years ago, 25, let's, to be careful, about 25 years ago, I decided that, I didn't decide. I walked into a bookstore 25 years ago. I was a college student at Cal Poly Pomona, and I entered Barnes & Noble's bookstore off of the 10 freeway, somewhere near Edwards Cinemas. If you know the area, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if that bookstore is still open, but anyhow, I reached for this book. I was inside the bookstore and I reached for this book. I saw this image and I thought, let me learn about Che Guevara. And so what I did was I approached the book. I extended my hand to, to grab the book. And there was a gentleman, a Latino gentleman, who saw me reach for the book, and he commented, "Oh, you're interested in reading about Che," or something to that effect. Now, I was accustomed to, going about my day without anyone accosting me, for any reason. And I just wasn't accustomed to just talking to people, to strangers. Well, anyway, this guy talked to me and I was like, dude, okay, I'm not really interested in talking to you. I don't feel comfortable just talking to you. And I really don't know much about Che for me to really, discuss, his book. But he was like, "Oh, so you're interested in reading about Che, and what interests you in Che, and tell me, let's talk about it." Apparently the guy just, was an interesting guy who read a lot, and he was knowledgeable, and I guess he just was lonely, right? Just wanted to talk about this particular book. Kind of felt like he was kind of like way too interested in, my book selection. I mean, I could have chosen some other book and maybe he wouldn't have had anything to say about it, but for whatever reason, he said, "Oh, you chose that book." All right. Well, anyway, that moment, that encounter basically, kind of scared me. And I said, well, I don't know much about Che. I know he's a controversial figure, and maybe I shouldn't even, go into that story, or maybe I shouldn't even learn about him. I won't even, entertain the thought of, learning about Che. I'll leave that book alone. And so for the next, 25 some odd years, I never had an interest in Che's story, really. And because of that moment, it was like, oh, don't read that book, Strange things will happen when you read that book. Sort of. That was how I felt. So anyway, I bought the book today. It's 25 some odd years later, and I have a better understanding of who Che was. I've been to Cuba, and the one thing that is resonating with me today is, and the reason why, the couple of reasons why I bought the book today, it's because when I walked into Esselwan Books, I saw it right at the entrance. So I thought, oh, perfect. All right, there it is again. But a new day, new mentality, new me. This time I picked it up. Also, what was neat is that I'm rocking my Che Guevara t-shirt. So I thought, which book am I gonna read? I might as well go and return to that moment when I was, a younger me, and let me get that book to as an expression of my development, right? Lack of fear. So anyway, I'm rocking my Che Guevara t-shirt. I just bought a copy of Che, 679 pages, I think it is, and I'm gonna delve into the book. And then the one thing that really resonates with me is that today it's October 5th. So 4 days from now will be my birthday, October 9th. And so the one compelling reason why I bought this t-shirt and why I'm even entertaining the thought of reading Che's book is not only because I've been to Cuba, but also because Che was killed on my birthday, October 9th, 10/9, in the year of 1967. I wasn't born then. I was born in 79, but that little tidbit right there is enough to make me say, let's give it a go. Let's give it a second shot. Okay, that's just that's just a very personal reason. But outside of that, Che was a very interesting figure. This is an iconic book, certainly an iconic photograph of Che. There have been documentaries about, or videos about the importance of this particular photograph. And yeah, I want to learn more. So I read the Life and Times of Frederick Douglass, the slave narratives, and the Life and Times of Frederick Douglass. Life and Times of Frederick Douglass, that's a larger book, so it'll take me some time. The way I read books is I get the audio book and listen as I read along, and look at the words. I don't think I'm gonna do this one with Che, because I just previewed the audio book, and many of the version of the audiobook version is considerably different from this text. It's the same text, but they omit so many sentences, and it's kind of difficult to follow along. And I really wouldn't want to skip, like perhaps like 70% of the book, 70% of the prose, in order to just consume the book, faster. But we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll give an update about my process of reading Che. But today it's October 5th, 2021, and I'm about to get into Che. What is it? Yeah, it's just entitled Che by John Lee Anderson. All right, picked it up at SO1 Books. Let's get into it. Peace.